Hello, everyone. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and controversial topic, witchcraft and magic in modern society. Did you know that even at some of the world's most prestigious universities, courses on witchcraft and magic are becoming increasingly popular? But what does this mean for us, and how does it impact our culture, religion, and spiritual well-being? Join me as we explore the hidden aspects of this phenomenon and consider whether we're witnessing a positive change or a dangerous decline in societal morals. Don't take your eyes off the screen, because what you're about to discover will definitely make you think. The historical and cultural context of witchcraft and magic. Witchcraft and magic have always been an integral part of human history, reflecting deep aspects of human curiosity and fear of the unknown. From ancient times, stories and legends about witches with the ability to manipulate the supernatural world have appeared in nearly every culture worldwide. In ancient Egypt, it was believed that sorcerers could communicate with the gods and use magic to alter human destiny. These practices were not just meant to control nature, but also demonstrated the supreme power of the deities that the sorcerers served. Similarly, in ancient Greece and Rome, witches were thought to have the power to control natural elements and summon spirits. However, throughout history, witches were not only seen as powerful figures, but also became subjects of suspicion and fear. Their mystical practices were often linked to dark forces and calamities, leading to their social ostracism and, at times, brutal execution. Witchcraft in medieval culture. The medieval period in Europe was when fears about witchcraft reached their peak, with witch hunts taking place across the continent. Witches were often seen as enemies of God, believed to be in league with the devil to disrupt social and religious order. Witch trials, like those in Salem, USA in the 17th century, have become symbols of injustice and fanaticism, where thousands were executed based on unsubstantiated accusations. These trials were largely driven by vague accusations and uncontrolled communal fear. These fears were exacerbated by religious and political authorities who used them as tools to consolidate power and control society. This led not only to immense pain and loss for the victims, but also left a dark mark on human history. Witchcraft in modern culture. As we moved into the 20th century, the image of witches began to change. From symbols of evil, witches gradually became portrayed with more complex perspectives. In literature and film, witches were no longer just villains, but also tragic figures, heroes or anti-heroes. Works like the Harry Potter series and The Witcher have helped popularize and widely accept the image of witches in society. In modern culture, witches are no longer symbols of fear, but have become part of the imagination in pop culture. They are explored as deep, complex, and intriguing characters. This has helped change society's view of witches from being seen as enemies of humanity to beloved and celebrated figures in many fictional stories. The shift in education and social perception. This shift in perception of witches has led to the emergence of witchcraft and magic courses at top universities. This not only reflects the growing acceptance of mystical practices, but also indicates a new trend in education, where aspects once considered taboo are now studied seriously and scientifically. These courses go beyond teaching the history and culture of witchcraft, delving into the analysis of spiritual and mystical phenomena through an interdisciplinary approach, combining history, psychology, and sociology. The emergence of these courses also reflects a change in societal perception of witches, from being seen as a threat to becoming a respected and fascinating subject of study. The development of witchcraft and magic courses at universities. Princeton, Magic and Literature. Princeton University, one of the world's most prestigious universities, has introduced a course titled Spell Visions of School and Fantasy and Science Fiction. This course focuses on exploring the world of magic and witchcraft in fantasy literature, particularly in the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. Students in this course not only learn about how magical elements are constructed in literary works, but are also encouraged to analyze the cultural and political meanings embedded in these stories. This course is part of Princeton's effort to help students better understand the role of magic in shaping and reflecting societal and cultural values. Courses like these allow students to view fictional stories not just as entertainment, but as powerful tools for conveying messages and cultural values. Exploring magical elements in literature also helps students understand how these stories can influence human thinking and perception of the world around them. Yale, History of the Night and the Supernatural. At Yale University, a unique course called History of the Night has garnered much attention from students. This course focuses on studying how the night has become a symbol of the mystical, from demons and witches to ghost stories. This course doesn't just teach history, but also combines other fields like psychology and cultural studies to provide a comprehensive view of how humans have approached the supernatural across different historical periods. By combining various academic disciplines, this course helps students gain a deeper and more complex understanding of phenomena that they may have previously understood simply or through the lens of pop culture. Exploring the history and role of the night in human culture also opens up new perspectives on how people have always tried to explain and control the mysteries and unexplainable aspects of their lives. Georgetown, Rituals and Magic. Georgetown University, one of the most respected universities in the U.S., is also part of this trend. The course Rituals, Symbols, Shamanism, Expanded States of Consciousness, Spirit Possession, Magic, Divination, and Witchcraft offers a comprehensive view of mystical practices from around the world. Students not only learn about rituals and symbols, but also explore expanded states of consciousness, an important part of ancient and modern witchcraft practices. This course also helps students better understand how these practices have influenced the culture and beliefs of various communities. Understanding rituals and symbols in different cultures not only gives students a deeper insight into mystical practices, but also helps them recognize the diversity and complexity of human culture. This also opens up important discussions about the role of religion and belief systems in shaping human worldviews. The appeal of these courses to students. It's undeniable that the increasing number of students enrolling in witchcraft and magic courses indicates a significant shift in society. What was once considered taboo and frightening has now become a respected and even attractive field of study. This appeal can stem from various reasons, including curiosity about the supernatural world, a desire to understand cultural and historical elements better, and even a search for meaning and purpose in a complex and ever-changing world. For many students, these courses are not just part of their academic program, but also an opportunity to explore unique and novel aspects of the world around them. Biblical perspective and opposition from religious groups, the Bible and warnings against witchcraft. From a biblical perspective, witchcraft and magic have always been viewed as sinful and forbidden. The Bible strongly condemns practices related to witchcraft, seeing them as acts of betrayal against God and associated with dark forces. One of the most famous passages warning against witchcraft is Isaiah 5:2, where the Bible speaks of those who call evil good and good evil, who turn darkness into light and light into darkness. This passage is understood as a warning that society can be deceived and led astray if it does not remain vigilant and uphold faith in God. The Bible also emphasizes that witchcraft is a serious sin, not only because it involves the use of supernatural power, but also because it represents a lack of trust and betrayal of faith in God. This makes witchcraft not only an evil act, but also a threat to the spiritual and moral balance of society. Reaction from religious groups. The emergence of witchcraft and magic courses at universities has faced opposition from many religious groups. They argue that teaching these subjects is an affront to their faith and could lead to the spread of illegitimate practices in society. Many religious leaders have warned that legalizing and normalizing witchcraft and magic in education could lead to moral decline in society. They call on parents and religious communities to be vigilant and protect their children from the negative influences of these courses. Religious groups are concerned that teaching about witchcraft and magic in universities could lead to the normalization of practices they consider sinful and incompatible with moral values. They also warn that this could open the door to spiritual and moral decline in society, as traditional values are challenged and replaced by new ideas. Controversy and social consequences. Despite the controversy, universities continue to expand and develop these courses, arguing that they contribute to cultural and historical understanding. This has led to a heated debate about the role of education in shaping and reflecting societal values. Is teaching courses on witchcraft and magic truly a step forward in accepting cultural diversity? Or is it a sign of moral and spiritual decline in modern society? This is a question that society today must grapple with and requires careful consideration. These controversies are not just about whether these courses should exist, but also about reevaluating the values that society is pursuing. Some believe that accepting and teaching about witchcraft and magic is part of academic freedom and the right to access knowledge. However, there are also concerns about whether this acceptance could lead to unforeseen consequences for society's future. The negative impact of witchcraft and magic in popular culture. The spread of witchcraft in media. Witchcraft and magic are not only appearing in university courses, but are also widespread in popular culture, especially through media such as movies, books, and television shows. Works like Harry Potter, The Witcher, and many others have significantly contributed to making the image of witches a part of popular imagination and entertainment. The presence of witchcraft in popular cultural products is not just an entertainment phenomenon, but a cultural one, where the values and messages embedded in these works can have a profound impact on viewers' thinking and perception. However, the problem is that these images are not just fictional stories. They also involve real witches to ensure the authenticity of the rituals and magic depicted. Psychological impact of media. Constant exposure to content related to witchcraft can have negative psychological effects, especially on young people. Images and ideas about magic can blur the lines between reality and fiction, leading to misunderstandings and even acceptance of dangerous practices. Studies have shown that frequent exposure to violent or supernatural images can affect viewers' psychology, making them more susceptible to negative ideas or behaviors. This is especially true for young people, who are often strongly influenced by what they watch and absorb from the media. For some, exposure to images and ideas about witchcraft can lead to curiosity and even a desire to experiment with these practices in real life. This can have serious consequences, not only psychologically but also spiritually, as the boundaries between reality and fiction become blurred. The normalization of witchcraft. One of the biggest concerns is the normalization of witchcraft in popular culture. When witches are portrayed as heroes or sympathetic characters, this can lead to the acceptance and even glorification of practices that were once considered evil and sinful. This normalization is not just limited to viewing witches as positive characters, but can also lead to widespread acceptance of mystical practices in everyday life. This is a serious issue that needs careful consideration, especially in a society increasingly inclined to accept and celebrate cultural diversity without a clear distinction between good and evil. The normalization of witchcraft in popular culture also raises questions about the role of media in shaping societal perceptions and values. If witchcraft and magic are seen as normal and even positive, this could lead to a shift in how society views these practices, from being seen as evil to becoming a part of everyday life. Warnings about spiritual impact and self-examination. Protecting the soul from negative influences. In modern culture, where moral and spiritual values are being challenged, protecting the soul and spirit is more important than ever. Exposure to content related to witchcraft and magic, whether in entertainment or academia, can have negative effects on one's soul. The Bible has repeatedly warned that what we take in and nurture within our souls will directly impact our lives. Therefore, we must be careful and know how to protect our souls from negative influences. This requires not only vigilance, but also steadfastness in upholding the moral values we believe in. The importance of self-examination. Self-examination is not just about reviewing what we do, but also about assessing whether what we believe and act upon aligns with the values we pursue. This is a crucial part of maintaining a connection with moral and spiritual values. Readers are encouraged to examine their souls and spirits to ensure that they are living according to moral and religious standards, avoiding temptations and sins. This not only helps protect the soul, but also strengthens the connection with positive values in life. Self-examination also helps individuals recognize negative factors that may be affecting their lives, allowing them to take steps to change and improve. This is particularly important in a world full of temptations and challenges, where maintaining a moral and spiritual life has become more difficult than ever. Personal advice in conclusion. Warnings about exposure to witchcraft content. I want to emphasize that exposure to content related to witchcraft is not just a matter of culture or education, but also a spiritual concern. Uncarefully absorbing such content can lead to unforeseen consequences for both the soul and spirit. Exposure to content about witchcraft and magic can open the door to negative influences, especially for young people and those who are easily swayed by the images and ideas they take in. Therefore, careful consideration is needed before deciding to engage with such content. Solutions to protect oneself. We need to equip ourselves with knowledge and discernment to avoid being drawn into unhealthy practices. Reading the Bible, praying, and upholding moral values will help us steer clear of temptations and protect our souls from negative influences. Maintaining a moral and spiritual life is an ongoing process that requires perseverance and determination. This not only helps protect oneself from negative influences, but also contributes to building a happier and more fulfilling life. Conclusion. Finally, I urge everyone to be mindful of what we take in and respect the moral values we believe in. Living according to moral and religious principles not only protects the soul, but also helps us lead a meaningful and complete life. We must recognize that the world around us is changing, and maintaining the values we believe in is more important than ever. This not only helps us face life's challenges, but also aids in building a better future for ourselves and our communities.